All right, what's up, everyone? So if you've already seen it, there's a bunch of doctors reacting to a bunch of stuff out there, but there's no med student. And I think you need to see the med student version because it will provide some insight into just how much or how little med students know. And honestly, this is just for fun anyway. I've been studying all weekend and I figured why not do this? And if it brings you any joy, that's just another consolation. So with that being said, let's get to it. All right, so for context, it's a completely random episode. I think I picked season 6, episode 15. I have no clue what it is, so we'll just go into it and we'll see where it goes.
Come on, man, it's 2 in the morning. These walls are made of tissue paper. I gotta be up in 3 hours to do a wiring job in Edison.
Sorry, we'll try to hold it down.
Sorry.
Frankie, what happened? No, that's not what you think. Something's wrong.
We need a police car at 152 Haverhill.
Whoa, what are you two talking about? Oh my god.
Are you all right?
I think it's coming from my gums.
Okay, that's definitely problematic. I honestly don't even know what to say. Seems like she maybe bleeds a lot. There's a lot of conditions where you might bleed a lot. Specifically, there's some clotting conditions. There's a coagulation cascade, and if any part of that is malfunctioning, you either can clot too much, which is definitely not the case here, or you can bleed a lot more easily. And in this case, she's definitely bleeding a lot more easily, and that is about as much as I know.
28-year-old female, sudden unexplained coagulopathy.
Congenital thrombocytopenia?
There we go. Know that. Congenital means that you're born with it. Thrombocytopenia means that you have low platelet counts. So when you have thrombocytopenia, you have fewer platelets, which means you can't clot, which means you bleed. Yeah. That's pretty much it. I just defined a term. That's pretty much the difference between med students and doctors. We just know definitions.
Personal journal. I don't get putting your whole life online.
It's not that crazy. Privacy is basically a modern invention. Times used to be too small for anybody to keep any secrets. What if it's not the platelets, but the glue that holds them together?
Nope. Thrombin and von Willebrand factor are normal.
And no.
So let me explain this, okay? So when you cut yourself, the first thing that happens is a platelet plug forms. It's made up of these cells called platelets, and those platelets are physically stuck together through this thing called von Willebrand factor. Then the second thing that happens on top of the platelet plug is this thing called the coagulation cascade. The coagulation cascade solidifies the platelet plug with this thing called fibrin. You may have heard of it. But basically to make that fibrin, you need to go through this massive cascade. Every med student has to learn it. We learned it last year. It's made up of 12 factors. One of those factors is thrombin. So the fact that thrombin and von Willebrand factor are both normal kind of implies that the clotting mechanism overall seems to be working. But that clearly doesn't make sense because the patient was bleeding out of her mind. And so again, all I can tell you is the basics. I have zero clue what's going on with her. I have no idea of what a differential or even a diagnosis is. So yeah.
You deny it, it sort of proves my point.
When we're left to our own devices, we make lousy choices.
Uh-oh.
Ignore it.
I can hear you in there. Open the door or I'm calling the cops.
We're 4 stories up, but there's a fire escape on the other wall. The ledge might be wide enough.
Okay, so I've heard of a lot of this. Believe it or not, I have a bunch of friends at med schools across the country who have said their first assignment for ethics class is to watch an episode of House and write down everything that is not right. And this is one of those things where you just randomly go into a patient's house and just are searching through their stuff. No one does that. I mean, I don't actually know if they do that because I'm not a doctor. But I'm assuming if they did do that, it would be massively illegal. And I don't think anyone actually does that. But yeah, what do I know? I'm just a med student.
What do you argue about?
Frankie's got some strong opinions. Wants to recycle every molecule of trash.
You take the anti-recycling position?
Trash piling up for composting's attracting every rat in the neighborhood. I had to put down poison. It's her private drawer. What are you doing over there?
She says she doesn't have any secrets. I'm taking her at her word.
Is there any chance Frankie touched the rat poison?
Touched it? She grabbed the chunk of it right out of the mouth of the schnauzer from down the hall.
Boom! Got him. Okay, so, sorry, I get really excited when I find out even the smallest things. So rat poison, also known as warfarin. So warfarin is one of the biggest medications that a lot of patients are on. It's It was rat poison. It actually is rat poison. You can look it up. It's called Coumadin. Basically, it's a blood thinner. What it means is that it actually physically causes some of these factors that I talked to you about in the coagulation cascade to stop being formed as well. And so because of that, you don't clot as well. And if you don't clot as well, you don't have a clot that can be formed on top of the platelet plug. And what happens? You bleed, apparently out of your teeth and out of your mouth. That's uncontrollable. And I still don't know what the diagnosis is, but that's what warfarin is. And that's also rat poison. And that's why these guys are being all, what's going on? And, you know, I kind of know what's going on, so I feel kind of happy about that.
If you don't want people to think you're condescending, maybe you shouldn't say condescending things. Can this wait a second? Because I have to pee. You know, I think people behave badly because there are no records of what we say or...
Yo, we need to talk about the fact that, like, the IV has to come with you all the time because it's in you. I was hospitalized a while ago, you guys know that. And I had an IV, and I just realized it was, like, the most annoying thing all the time to consistently have to bring that pill with me, even when I went to the bathroom. But it is a really big deal. And it just goes to show you that when you're in the hospital, even the smallest things are a huge deal. Like going to the bathroom and doing these basic things that we all take for granted, they can be really, really challenging, and they can make it very obvious when you have the big IV in your vein and you having to use that pole to get everywhere. It just gets frustrating. I remember I had to physically unplug my IV pole, bring it into the bathroom with me, and then come back, bring it back in, and then get in and like adjust it so my arm was perfect. It was just a lot of tedious effort, but the point being, anyone who's in a hospital, just know that there's a lot they're going through, a lot of emotions, a lot of small things that are impacting their lives that you may not even consider until, you know, you're there yourself. So I just wanted to point that out because I thought that's pretty classic, and it just reminded me of my recent experience.
Coagulopathy plus kidney equals what?
I have zero clue. Zero. I get questions like this all the time from attendings, and I'm like, no, wrong person. Wrong person. Wait like a couple of years. Zero clue what you're talking about. Zero chance of me even potentially guessing the answer.
And a little crazy you're thinking to share that much?
Not crazy. Unusual to be so intimate with people you don't know.
But I do know them. They read my blog, I comment on theirs. Just because you haven't met someone physically doesn't mean you don't know them. What about you? Are you in a relationship?
Yo, that's you guys. I feel this all the time with you guys. Just because I've never met you doesn't mean I don't know you. I mean, I interact with you guys all the time, and especially with all this social media now. It's amazing how connected we are. So she's got a blog, I got you guys, and it's funny that you're watching this, watching me, watching her, and we both got this in common. It's like Inceptionated-ish. Okay, guys, well, another part of being a med student also means I have very little time, and I'm barely going to get this video out before tomorrow. I did not finish all the episode, but I'll hopefully try to finish it next time. If you guys like this, please give us a big thumbs up. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Honestly, I was just doing it to reflect on how far I've come and to see if I actually understand some of this stuff, and I honestly do, and it is really exciting, so we'll see. Maybe I'll finish the second of this in another video. Let me know what you thought. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. By the way, for context, it's 3 a.m. The video will go out tomorrow at 10 a.m. So just to show you how much I'm grinding. And again, this was mostly just for fun. So hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace. Oh, and if you don't already, follow me on Instagram and Snapchat. Both of those are linked below. And that's that. See you guys next time.